So much has been happening. It is time for an update. This is going to be a little bit of a whistle-stop tour to show you some of the highlights of what's going on, and I also have a few announcements as well. But obviously the most exciting update is that it is a new growing season and everything is bursting into life. So the kitchen garden is also bursting into life. I'm just being a little bit more patient with it, but a lot of things are going on. The hotbed is looking great. Everything is going really well. The polyculture is going well. It is time to start focusing on planting. Down here we have a hand-dug pond, but patience, it's not quite ready yet. Need to build up this bank a little bit. This will be great fun. And we've also got a little living willow dome. Ah! Ooh. Ooh. The chickens are having a lot of fun. We're making, look at this, this is all compost that's starting to break down. So they're happy, but I should maybe get them some more grass so I don't injure them. Watch this, ready? Whee! This is going to be my first ever attempt at having a cut flower garden this year. Our microlinear food forest is developing really nicely. Also, Sam has a new garden. The perennial aspect of the fruit tree guilds are coming along nicely. This area around the greenhouse is going to become a new garden, but you'll have to be patient for that one. We're part of a project growing very rare black oats, and we've actually got 6 different grains that have just been planted in the last week. We've also just started planting up some syntropic rose in between our orchard here, and we're growing some really interesting things. This is bladder nut, for example, which will create a pistachio-like nut, and we've got different herbs and soft fruit and all sorts of things growing on. And the David Austin rose garden is growing really strongly, and I can already smell the roses. Wake up and smell the roses. In a few weeks, I'll be doing that. We've also been busy bulking up our shelter belts. Here's one that we started a year back or so, but more things have been planted. But in the field behind me, we've put in 3,000 trees and shrubs to improve the growing conditions of the site, because today it's a little bit windy and our biggest limitation is actually exposure from the wind. So hopefully those 3,000 trees and shrubs are going to play an important role in making this site even more productive. We started a micro honeyberry plantation to trial 6 different varieties of honeyberries, which are great because they are a fruit that you eat in May, which means it's a hungry gap fruit. We're experimenting with a hand-dug style of swale. We've got 3 of them coming down, and this is all about to be properly planted up and mulched, and the space in between we're going to convert into grocery row style gardens inspired by David the Good. We've actually just made a start on prepping the soil. So this we've just started to plough, and then we'll actually rotivate and we'll grow some more extensive crops here. Lower down we'll incorporate the manure, and then it's dig to start with. Then the idea is that we'll then grow green manure crops that then will lightly work into the top layer of the soil every year, so we're not dependent on compost. And then we've got the swales in between, which will also turn into linear food forest. So I'm hugely excited about this part. This linear fruit forest is developing well. Now I need to come in, mulch it a little bit more, fill in some of the gaps, add more of a herbaceous layer, i.e. comfrey and patient stock, and this should be a really fun little boundary. In our fruit tunnel, we've got peaches and nectarines and cherries all starting to develop. We're going to do an underlayer of sweet potatoes again this year because it worked really well last year. And you can see that we've got a saw behind us because we've got some projects going on. We've just had a new shed built. We're also having a proper compost toilet built as well. And now for some announcements, which includes a really big, exciting project that has just been absolutely chaotic and crazy and a lot of fun. But I am running and co-running 3 in-person courses this year. one in July, one in August, one in September. So the one in July is with Penny Edica at her site at Sunacoid. We're doing a self-sufficiency weekend. And then Penny and I in August are running a introduction to permaculture. It will be a certified course, introduction to permaculture taught through the means of gardening. That is going to be in August. And then again in Henbant permaculture, I'm going to be running with Matt, who is the co-owner and co-founder of Henbant Permaculture. We're going to be doing an introduction to permaculture design course in September. So 3 really cool things. I'd love to see you there, and all the links or details will be down below in the description. And welcome to our biggest project yet here on site. Welcome to Dovey Plants. This is basically for us the next logical step. We've got the space, we've got the land, we're growing all of these plants. Why don't we propagate from them? I understand as a gardener how hard it is getting a lot of particular things, particularly rare types of perennial vegetables. And so this project is in collaboration with Mandy from Incredible Vegetables, as well as some other really cool projects out there. We have only really just set this up, like the staging only went up like last week, and it's been absolutely fantastic. We're trying to provide high quality plants, all grown peat free in either reused or recycled pots for you here in the UK, for gardeners in the UK to have access to really special things, to rare things, but to also provide, you know, hopefully as naturally grown options as possible, if even things like edible flowers, and we've got tubers, and this here is Asturian tree cabbage. So it's been so much fun, and we've got a lot of plant packing to do, and so it is so fun because this is exactly what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about creating edible landscapes. That's what we're trying to do here on this 7-acre site, but I also want to help other people, other growers like you, to create edible landscapes. And one of the things I would suggest is, of course, join the newsletter so you get notified whenever we do a new plant drop. Join the newsletter. We've got some really cool things coming out soon. But because you're on YouTube, there's actually, we've created a channel called Dovey Plants about the permaculture nursery, which you can subscribe here and follow. And just below is a video of a linear food forest tour on that channel, so there is some nice crossover, but it's more dedicated, and I really think you'll enjoy it. So you have a chance to catch me over there as well.